And so, one of the biggest things that needs to happen when we're looking at kind of trying to balance out the role of synthetic data and what it does to these models is making sure that there is a presence of both synthetic data and real data. One of the areas that we see a lot of this type of training happening is in insurance or healthcare when they are trying to do things like fraud detection. A lot of that comes down to the heavily compliant nature of those two industries and being able to get information to train these models without violating regulatory laws. One of the other use cases where we'll see a lot of synthetic data come in is things like self-driving cars. So example of Waymo, where they want to be able to test their AI model to be able to respond in really serious or dangerous scenarios, but they don't want to put a person or a vehicle in those situations. When we look at these places where there's high regulation or big risk associated with actually collecting the data, it definitely makes sense. But in these scenarios where Salesforce, for example, wants you to be able to more efficiently manage your customer service applications, does synthetic data start to create that loop where we potentially see this model collapse or your AI outputs decreasing in accuracy and reliability? Or in the scenario where maybe your synthetic data has some sort of bias that you're unaware of? Are you creating bias that didn't exist within the typical data and information? Or are you amplifying a bias that's already in place in historical data without realizing that you're doing that?